Barbatos, once nothing more than a tiny wisp of wings, yet he rose to claim a seat among the seven in Celestia. How could such a small and fragile being ascend to godhood? Why did the people of Mondstadt choose to follow him over all others? And perhaps most curious of all, why would a god of Anemo and freedom prefer to wander as a carefree bard instead of rolling like the other Archon? Hello everyone, I'm your storyteller, Panagon Valimar, the Cyborg Dragons. Welcome back to Chronicles of Teyvat, where we uncover the hidden truth and forgotten history of this world. We explore the War of Vengeance and the Archon War, but today, it's time for a different tale. One of song, freedom, and the god who chose to live as a bard. This is the story of Barbatos, better known to us as Venti, the Anemo Archon. Among the thousand wings, a little wisp was born. He longed to explore and see the world, but without power he was helpless. One day at the Thousand-Winged Temple, he encountered Istaroth, the ruler of time. Hearing his wish, she granted him fragment of her power and authority. With newfound strength, the wisp wandered across the path until fate drew him to Mondstadt. At that time, Mondstadt was ruled by Decarabian, the god of storm. He built a great circular city with a tower at its center, sealing it within a storm barrier to protect his people. Yet his rule was not as benevolent as he believed. When Boreas, the great wolf of the North Wings, rose to godhood through unknown means, he waged war against the Decarabian, unleashing endless blizzard across the region. For centuries, the Decarabian and Boreas fought, neither able to overcome the other, while Mondstadt people remained trapped inside the storm barrier. To the Decarabian, the barrier was protection. To his people, it was a prison. They longed for freedom, to see the world beyond. The Genshin clan were the first to rebel, leaving the city only to be nearly wiped out by the blizzard. In desperation, the daughter of their chief prayed, and the little winged spirit answered. The wisp, empowered by fate, sheltered them and granted Gilnir strength to protect their people. Soon he heard another prayer, that of a young bard who dreamed of freedom and the end of the Decarabian tyranny. The wisp befriended him, and together they joined the growing rebellion. The bard became its leader, uniting allies like Gilnir, a red-haired warrior, and Amos, the Decarabian's former lovers. In a climactic battle, they toppled the tower and slew the god of storm. Yet victory came at a great cost. Both Amos and the bard fell in the struggle. With the Decarabian gone, Boreas was the last god standing. Now destined to claim the Archon seat, he refused, believing his lack of love for humanity made him unworthy. His blizzard haunts endless were turned into nourishment for the land as he relinquished his life. And so, to fill the vacant throne, the winged spirit ascended. To honor his fallen friend, he took the bard form. Thus the wisp became Barbatos, the Anemo Archon. Though the Decarabian barrier had fallen, Mondstadt remained a frozen wasteland. Barbatos took up his friend flyer summoning wings to sweep away snow and reshape the land. Mountain split, valley leveled, and plain formed fertile soil. Vineyard flourished, and Mondstadt soon became famous for its wine. At Cider Lake, Barbatos led his people to build a new city, windmills, festival, and a grand church in his honor. They celebrated with tradition like Ludi a Pastum, Wineless Fest, and Windbloom Festival. To commemorate their god, the Lawrence clan built a statue inscribed with an oath to forever protect Mondstadt freedom. As more tribes joined, Aristocracy began to form, a system Barbatos soon abandoned. Fearing to become a tyrant like the Decarabian, he stepped away, leaving Mondstadt to govern itself. Instead, he wandered Teyvat as a bard, befriending gods like Rex Lapis, playing prank, and even earning the trust of the young dragon Dvalin. Centuries passed. Mondstadt clan became corrupt. The Lawrence clan, once noble, enslaved outsider and grew arrogant, even allied with Ursa the Drake. The people, desperate for freedom, prayed once more to Barbatos. Their prayers were answered to Venti, the wandering bard. Among Mondstadt enslaved was Vennessa, a warrior of unmatched strength, forced to fight in the Aristocracy Colosseum. To protect her clan and her sick sister, she endured countless battles. Eventually, she crossed paths with Venti, who encouraged her spirit of true freedom. When the noble pitted Vennessa clan against Ursa the Drake, Barbatos lent her his power. With it, she defeated the monster, sparkling a rebellion. Soldiers turned against their master after Venti forged a contract in Rex Lapis' name, tricking them into believing their lord will enslave all nations. The aristocracy crumbled, and the Lawrence clan was exiled. Vennessa became the first Grand Master of the Knight of Favonius. With Barbatos' blessing, the Four Wings were established. The Wolf of the North, Boreas, the Lion of the South, the Dragon of the East, Dvalin, and the Falcon of the West. Together they vowed to protect Mondstadt. The people of Mondstadt then worshipped the Four Wings and built temples dedicated to him. "500 years ago, the underground nation of Khaenri'ah fell. The abyss spread across Teyvat, unleashing monsters and corruption. Mondstadt was struck by Duran, the Black Dragons, whose blood poisoned the land. Awakened by his people's cries, Barbatos summoned Dvalin. Together they slew Duran atop Dragonspire. But Dvalin was poisoned by the dragon bloods, a curse that would haunt him for centuries. Barbatos then went to Mirjavari, near Natlan, and decided to blood it off Teyvat with time magic. This was to prevent the spread of abyss corruption. This action, however, trapped many souls in the now wingless land, though a few others eventually merged with the local Monedo and became the Asha. At an unknown point during the Cataclysm, Celestia summoned the Seven Archon, a side greater Lord Rukadevada, to Khaenri'ah. The kingdom didn't stand a chance against the god, and of course lost the battle. The Eclipse dynasty was wiped, but still 3 of the gods died during the battle. The Heavenly Principle then severely punished the people of Khaenri'ah with immortal life, which after some time could become monster. Deeply traumatized by this conflict and their evenly principled action, the Sarista cut off all contact with the Seven, including Barbatos. During the calamity, Barbatos vanished again, slumbering as history moved on. The people forgot the Four Wings, and even his role in the battle was lost. Centuries later, Dvalin awoke and returned to Mondstadt, only to realize the humans forgot about him, rejected and feared him. Wounded by betrayal and tormented by drawing blood, he fell into the Abyss Order influence, and became known as Storm Terror. The Decarabian city which he had taken up his residence came to be known as Storm Terror Lair. 10 weekend months before, Barbatos investigated in the guise of Venti. Barbatos found Dvalin, and he attempted to heal him from the abyssal magic, corrupting him. Unfortunately, he got inadvertently interrupted by Paimon and the Traveler. Because of the Traveler animal powers, Dvalin got agitated and became hostile toward Barbatos and left. Seeing it was no longer possible to communicate with him and worry of the threat he could cause, Barbatos disappearing in a gust of wind. He later met the Traveler, Diluc and Jean as Venti to help them save his old friend from corruption. Thanks to the Traveler, they succeeded after a showdown at the Decarabian Tower. Not long after this, he was ambushed by Signora of the Fight Tree, who stole his Genesis. And so the Bard continued to wander, powerless in the eyes of Celestia, yet still guiding his people with song, freedom, and wine. And that's it. The Tale of Barbatos. The Anemo Archon. Form a nameless wisp of wings to the god of freedom. His story is unlike any other in Teyvat. But what do you think? Did I miss any key details about Barbatos? Then what are your thoughts on the carefree god who would rather sing as a bard and drink wine than rule as a king? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your theories. If you enjoyed this, don't forget, I'm also working on another lore series, Chronicles of Khaenri'ah from the Trail universe. So check that out as well. And if you like to hang out live, I stream most night on my other channel, Valimar Gamings, at 7 PM EST. Thank you for watching. May the Archon protect you. Bandwagon offline.